job is to give us the evidence and the factual information so we can use our intelligence, which is far greater than most in news media, trust me, I've met a lot of them, to make a decision. And you're being denied that. So first, somebody steals votes, and then the news media adds insult to injury and said, nobody stole your vote. I didn't see anything. Besides, I hate Trump. Trump's a big orange weenie. And that's a shame. So thank God for talk radio. Thank God for this audience. Because this audience is moving the dial. You're moving the dial. This audience is moving America back to where it should be. We need to move this country away from China. Your call's coming up. Now, Ron Reacts, a commentary by News Radio 920 and 1047 FM's Ron St. Pierre.
During the election cycle past, my neighbor had a mock campaign lawn sign that read, 2020, please make it stop. 2020 is going to stop all right when the calendar flips January the 1st, but it's not going away, at least not anytime soon. It's going to linger long into the new year. The promise of multiple COVID-19 vaccines being ready for frontline workers and the most vulnerable by the end of the year, well, that's great news. But making the vaccine available to the masses will take until at least the spring at the absolute earliest. Now, there's the challenge of getting 70% too of the U.S. population to believe it's safe and actually take the vaccine. Merriam-Webster just named pandemic the word of the year for 2020. Other words aggressively searched out on the internet included Zoom, quarantine, asymptomatic coronavirus, furlough, and super spreader. The calendar page might flip in a month, but I think those words will, unfortunately, remain common parlance through 2021.
Join Ron St. Pierre weekday mornings 5 to 9 for Rhode Island's news, plus traffic and weather together on the 10th on News Radio 920 and 1047 FM.
I'm Susie Wells, News Radio 920 and 1047 FM. Here's what's happening. The UK has become the first Western country to officially approve a new coronavirus vaccine. The country's Health and Medicine Regulatory Agency gave an approval today for a vaccine developed by Pfizer and German company BioNTech. Police identifying the individual who was found dead near I-295 in Cumberland on Friday. The Providence Police Department says it was a resident of the capital city, Jose Seguera. The medical director of the Rhode Island Department of Corrections is stepping down. DOC says Dr. Jennifer Clark has given notice that she will leave at the end of the week. Get News 24/7 on demand at newsradiori.com.
Now here's your Storm Team 10 forecast.
Clouds with isolated rain showers. Temperatures will leave the low 40s with wind chills in the 30s. Gradually clearing tonight, dropping below 30s by early Thursday. Then temperatures recover near 50 degrees in the afternoon with a mostly sunny sky. Still in the low 50s by Friday afternoon with showers develop later in the day and continue into Saturday to go gusty winds. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Anthony Macari on News Radio 920 and 1047 FM.
This report is sponsored by Merrill. News Radio 920 and 1047 FM. Traffic.
The ride is still heavy.
Thanks to Rhode in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Virginia.
One, due to a left-wing work crew, there until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, while 610 connector outbound, delays at Coopey Street out to Route 10 due to a work crew. On Route 37 West, tied up at Post Road due to bridge maintenance. I'm Judy Grant on News Radio 920 and 1047 FM.
With Merrill Guided Investing, you have the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Get started at merrilledge.com/investing goals. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner, and Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. Member SIPC.
Would you ask a monkey for medical advice? Of course not. Then why sign up for propane sales and service with an oil company? We...
Knock 'em back, knock 'em back, knock 'em back, knock 'em back. Fill 'em up, fill 'em up, fill 'em up, fill 'em up. As if she ain't ever coming back. Line 'em up, line 'em up, line 'em up, line 'em up. Knock 'em back, knock 'em back, knock 'em back, knock 'em back. Fill 'em up, fill 'em up, fill 'em up, fill 'em up. As if she ain't ever coming back. I'ma need some whiskey glasses, 'cause I don't wanna see the truth. Try to make it down on the couch right now with someone good.
also control the door through the app. So let's say energy.com. In the next 26 minutes, just 23 contributions in 26 minutes.
23 contributions. Look, it's so easy to do. Just take the
Economic icon, a conservative, libertarian icon, just a brilliant man and a good man, and a funny man, Walter Williams, and a beloved host of the Rush Limbaugh Show, and that's how a lot of us met Walter, through the Rush Limbaugh Show. So here's some Walter, just to remind us all of how brilliant he was.
Liberty is not the normal state of affairs. That is, throughout mankind's history, he's been subject to arbitrary abuse and control by others. And so, the amount of liberties that Americans have, and perhaps Western Europe as well, the amount of it is relatively rare in humankind. And I think that the danger that we face is that some historian, maybe 200 years from now, who might be writing, he says, well, look, the normal state of affairs has been arbitrary abuse and control by others. And there's this little tiny curiosity where a relatively few people had a large amount of liberty for a short amount of time, but it all went back to the normal state of affairs. That is arbitrary abuse and control by others.
Walter Williams, rest in peace. The number is 800-282-2882. I'm Ken Matthews, guest hosting today for Mr. Limbaugh. Let's hit the phones, and they're on fire. I mean, not literally. Don't hit the alarm, please. Let's go to Butch in Saratoga. Is that California?
Yes, sir, it is Silicon
Wow.
Valley. Everybody keeps saying there's no widespread voter fraud. To me, the connotation to that statement is they're admitting there was voter fraud. Also, Ken, I got a couple questions for you. One is, as far as the irregularities, it seems to me there was more votes counted in some of the battleground states than there was registered voters. That should also be a big red flag right there. And also another question I have for you is, the recounts going around the country, does that include all the mail-in votes for Biden, including the ones that showed up